Yes, I think first we might talk a little bit about what the TOPA process looks like. So what is the Tenant Opportunity to Purchase Act? There's a few steps that are involved and applied to this. The first step is the owner decides to sell the residential rental property. And in that scenario of TOPA, they have to notify both the tenants that currently reside in the property as well as a select group of nonprofit housing organizations that a city has selected. And this impacts, again, any property, single family home, upward of multi-unit buildings, if it has a tenant in it. And so the owner offers it to the tenants and the nonprofits, and that sets off the first right of offer. And the owner basically has to wait while the organization...
I've got an offer. Somebody comes to me and they have, hey, I've got my financing in place. I'd love to purchase the property. Take my money. And I've got to wait 80 days to decide. Interest rate changes, market changes.
Absolutely. Bingo. Yes,
okay.
That is correct.
All right.
So we're really...
Step one. I hate step one. But okay.
Step one is inclusive of the front loading of the education process that I think most buyers engage in. If you're a standard buyer going out to the market, whether an investment property or property you intend to occupy yourself, you go through an education period, right? You go to your lender and you get qualified and you go through that whole process. And that's never at the expense of the person making the sale or selling the property. In this case, they are going to make it at the expense of the owner selling the property. They are going to allow the tenants and the nonprofits enough time to get themselves together to make an offer. So when that time period ends, whether it's anywhere from 30 days to 80 days as the policies are currently written, then the owner would have the opportunity to either accept or reject the offer, dependent on how the offer is structured, just like you would in a regular market. Then there's two things that can happen. One is the owner could accept that offer. It's fine. It works good for them. But now they go into another lengthy waiting period, depending on the size of the property. But the owner must wait at least, and it looks to be about an average of 60 days for the tenant to get together their financing and get together everything they need to purchase the property. In larger properties, multi-unit properties, it can be up to 6 months of time to gather that financing. The other thing that could happen is the owner could reject the offer. And if they reject the offer, then what happens is the owner does have a right to go out to the regular market to list the property. And this would be the first time in the process that they would be allowed to go out to the open market. However, whatever offer comes back to the owner from the open market, the owner has to go back to the tenant group or back to the nonprofit and say, hey, I got this offer, can you meet or beat it? And then another waiting period sets in at that point, anywhere from 20 to 30 days for the tenant group or the nonprofit to act on that. So it's a very lengthy process in which most standard buyers in an open market, especially investment income buyers, are not going to wait around for all these various time periods to expire.
That seems to misunderstand that in a world with interest rates that move, markets that change constantly, adding 6 months as I add these things up, you can get up to 9 months or more worth of delay in a changing market. Someone's retirement could be at risk as they're waiting to navigate this situation.